Hey guys, it's E-Man, and call me King, and we are here with another draft league. I'm back. And this time we're in the SPDA Wi-Fi Luxury Ball League. And my god, I am super excited. SPDA is one of my favorite leagues to be in. I've been loving all the seasons, either been inside seasons or past seasons, and it's always been a blast to play in. This time I'm finally in a upload league in the league, so I'm very excited. There's also a lot of very talented people in this league, so we have to play our best. Also, please let me know how you're gonna like this style. I'm doing the draft analysis and week 1 in the same video. I feel like a lot of people, and sometimes they find comments how they say they kind of just can't wait for week 1 or just kind of wish it went immediately to week 1. So I thought I'll try this out, but if you guys like the old one, please let me know if I should just do a draft analysis video and then week 1 as 2 different videos. Anyways, I want to get directly into my draft, so this is not the longest scene ever. I was 6th pick, and to be honest, I definitely have no life draft league. I have almost used every single Pokemon in the Gen 9 format, and I wish that was a joke. I definitely haven't used all of them yet, but I am incredibly close to, and definitely almost all the high tiers I definitely have. That being said, I didn't really mind what I got or what to build around, so basically my mind for this league was kind of just whatever was around is what I was going to build with, and then I could of course build off later in the draft. With that being said, I was 6th pick, so I was definitely guaranteed a good Mon, and I definitely got a good one, and kind of a shocker. I was able to get PALAFIN hero form. PALAFIN has been very well known in the in any of the competitive formats, both doubles and singles. Singles very much more predominant in both in draft league and in just the overall ladder. It's been a monster in almost every single way. It has a insane attack stat, absolutely wonderful stats, and has 0 downsides to it. There's only really 2 downsides to it, and one of them is not even that bad, which is kind of its move pool. It gets the stab it needs and it gets some good coverage for just overall base moves, but it really is just water fighting and ice, so sometimes water or poison mons can wall it, but even then its damage is so overwhelming that it just completely spikes through its checks, and you'll see this in week 1. The other being is that this mon is a very unique Pokemon. It starts off in this little baby form where it has really bad stats and is very underwhelming. However, once you swap it out, it turns into this monster 650 base stat mon with 0 downsides. Of course, that could definitely be troublesome, and in draft league, I myself and a lot of players like to use this as an advantage, knowing that we have to wait to get this mon out to actually be able to kind of use it to its maximum extent. This is yet again still a really hard downside to call it a downside. It is definitely a downside, however, there's so many teams that can just involve ways to get around this, and there's also just things like leading PALAFIN into a pivot, and there's literally 0 downside to it. Now that I've kind of talked about the downsides, let's talk about why this mon's a monster. It is basically one of the best legendaries without being a legendary. A monster 650 base stat total and having pretty much not a single bad stat, even both physical and special, is really insane. Not to mention, it has a unique move called Jet Punch, which is basically just stronger priority stab water, making this mon an absolute monster in every single way. Defensive, it is still going to hit incredibly hard with base 160 attack, great bulk with the 97s in both its defensive stats and 100 HP, and then has a nice speed of 100. This can be kind of a downside, as Gen 9 definitely is known to be more higher in the 100s, like 104, 110 has been known to be the best kind of neutral speed, so he's a little underwhelming, but that still doesn't stop the base 100 stopping a lot of mons, and of course any mons below that. And then again, any mons he can be out faster, he can get away with items like Life Orb, Bandit, or even just some boost item, or even AV, and just being this absolute monster and being able to pretty much be uncheckable. Then again, we still have Choice Scarf to outspeed any mons we're really scared of, like Masquerada. And even if we don't like either of those 2 sets, we could still get away with stuff like Bandit and all that, thanks to the Jet Punch and his overwhelming base 160 attack stat. A boosted item with Jet Punch is more than enough to kill anything. It's also why this mon is pretty much one of the top dogs, and even is banned most of the time. I think in recently times, PALAFIN has been now more easier to check, especially in draft league, but there was for a very long time this mon was just banned for pretty much just because it's overpowered. Of course, however, it definitely involves around the team. A bad team could definitely make this mon feel underwhelming. So, I was trying to build a team around PALAFIN, however, I can't lie, I sort of stick to it, and we'll get into that later. My next pick, however, is very nice with it, and I'm also incredibly shocked it made it back to me. As I said, I'm 6th pick, so it is in its snake draft format, so it had to come right back to me, but somehow the round 1 Tornado Sarian made it back to me. So we have a Tornadus Therian and PALAFIN hero as our 2 picks, which is incredible. Tornadus Therian was the top dog of Draft League, and definitely has been slowly going down in the ranks due to just losing so many moves and kind of just getting a little bit power crept, but it is still an outstanding mon, one of the best round 1 picks, and just overall best overall mon in draft. Literally 2 moves can make this mon go back to being the top dog if you got him back. Really goes to show how great this mon is. This mon can literally do anything and everything. An insane 121 base speed, great bulk stats, 110 special attack and 100 attack, being able to be a mix attacker or just going a full offense on one of the 2 stats, and one of the best abilities, if not the best ability, in Draft League, Regenerator. Not to mention, he gets U-turn so he can pivot with this Regenerator. This ability alone basically makes this mon one of the top dogs and why it's so good. Be able to do overwhelming damage, have insane stats, and to be able to heal basically all of it back by just switching out, and best of all, it's one of the very few regenerator mons that get U-turn, immediately bringing it to just a higher tier by that alone. This mon's move pool's also just insane, kind of for what it needs. It gets Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb, Flying, Psychic, any dark move. It is great. This, of course, really only downside to this mon is that it kind of really likes to run heavy duty boots in this generation, because Stealth Fox is so predominant in Gen 9, and well, since it's being a pure flying type, it definitely needs it. Of course, however, any matchups, or if we have a team that has a good defog or has a removal, then we can get away with offensive items, and this mon, yet again, just like PALAFIN, becomes an absolute monster and basically uncheckable with certain items. AV is one of the best known items for this mon, especially in Draft League. It makes this mon just an absolute wall that hits way too hard, then still gets this momentum and has this great speed tier. It could be able to check its checks with AV, and it's kind of insane. And the best part is that an offensive turn is outstanding because, like other regenerator mons that are super offensive, like Mian Xiao, they love to run Life Orb, basically losing its HP while doing insane damage, but thanks to Regenerator, they can get out and get that healing right back up, basically making Life Orb an incredibly overpowered item with this mon. They want to move on to our next picks though. I'm going to try to hurry it more up now so y'all can get more into the match, and also because some of these mons are definitely more known for what they do. Next up is good old Archaladon. I think Archaladon is an outstanding draft mon. It can do almost anything it feels like, especially in singles, and even further enhances that in doubles. I love this mon, especially if it's just a nice lower tier mon. Some people like to lower it on their points because it's definitely very easy to check nowadays, especially the basic sets it loves to run. This mon literally has anything and everything. Physical, special, insane move pool, stamina, even has a sturdy, it has a defensive, it has Thunder Wave, it has Stealth Rocks. Give it whatever you feel like and it pretty much has it. It's outstanding. I hope you're going to see a lot of wacky Archaladon sets this season because I love to just run some really fun sets and really try to prove this mon that isn't just a one-trick pony. But that being said, it's definitely known for its one-trick pony. The Body Press Stamina set is outstanding. Draco Meteor Electro Shot sets are crazy. Rain teams with this mon is also really, really good. And little spoiler, even though my team looks like a rain team, I hate weather and I'm not bringing a rain mon on this draft. Now, I don't want to go fully into this because, like I said, there's so many crazy fun stuff you can run with this mon, but also this is literally one of the most predominant mons in the entire meta of Gen 9, both in doubles, and honestly was very popular in singles for a very long time. I feel like if you play Gen 9, you probably know of this mon. Of course, we'll get more into him in future weeks and even go off my certain sets, because one thing that's also really nice is EVs in Draft League. That's something you really want to take advantage of in Draft League, and Archaladon's one of the best mons to get away with some really cool EV sets and running some really nice little nerdy calculation sets are really strong with this Pokemon. You can get away with a lot. Now I'll move on to my next mon, and one of the best good old reliable mons of all time, and in my opinion one of the best bulk mons ever, is Skeledirge. This mon literally does this job and does it 10 times better. It is actually insane how a starter and just how a good ability with even subpar stats just make this mon outstanding at what it does. The Fire Ghost type is always amazing. Chandelure has shown to be just an outstanding user of just offensively with this, but also defensively is known to be very, very well, which is something that you wouldn't think. Now we put Unaware on this mon and it becomes kind of crazy. It can stop pretty much any setup mons, and thanks to its 104 HP and 100 defense, physical mons like Dragon Dance users do not like to fight this, let alone with Will-O-Wisp. 75 SPDA, although it's not the greatest, especially in this generation, is still very workable and it can still check a lot of special uses. Not to mention, this mon, thanks to its weird typing, can get away with some really cool mons to check, and I have seen a couple, and I have used even a couple cool Skeledirge sets or mons I have checked with this, and it's really fun, and I really hope I get to show those off. This mon also gets a signature move which is just incredibly busted, which is Torch Song, which is a basically flamethrower that gives you +1 special attack. Pretty absurd, and it's really overpowered, and it makes this incredible bulk mon that literally doesn't need to run any special attacks already thanks to 110 special attack, being able to basically just snowball into free wins just because of this torch song. There's been so many matches where myself or even I have fought against, or even just watched a bunch of people, where this mon just got 1 or 2 torch songs up by just trying to deal with its check, and then it just magically snowballs into pretty much a full sweep or even like 3 more kills. This mon's bulk is absurd. With slack off, it can just make sure it never dies and always make sure it's healthy. And then again, with torch song, it doesn't, you gotta really make sure you can check this mon basically in one-shotting or two-shotting it, or this mon's just gonna take away the game. That being said though, it actually definitely has a underwhelming move pool. Fire, ghost, and ground is really what it only has. It's really all it needs, and with the torch song move, really only needs fire, honestly, thanks to it, so it's not really that bad, but it's definitely something that could be worked around against my opponent. However, this mon is definitely well known for just being overwhelming damage with absurd bulk into a Will-O-Wisp and slack off. It really is insane. My next up mon though is a mon that I don't think you see often for a couple of reasons, but I personally really like this mon. And I'm talking about Iron Leaves. Now, Iron Leaves is special for our team as it's a Terra capped. And how Terra works in this league is that any mon that has Terra can Terra into any type. However, you have to tell your opponent that week what Terra type it is, which means we have all Terra types for this Iron Leaves. This is incredibly overpowered, especially for certain mons, and Iron Leaves is one of the best ones to abuse this with. On top of that, knowing your Terra type for an Iron Leaves into a matchup really does not matter. They could predict it, I could tell them what it is, it really won't matter. And our offensive Terra Iron Leaves is just absurdly strong. And defensive, it's even better if you can get away with it. Iron Leaves is just a run-of-the-mill offensive sweeper. Thanks to quick driving booster energy, we can get a boost of speed, basically giving us having 4 moves with basically a 1.5 speed boost, and same other way around with attack boost if we feel like it. However, speed boost is definitely the way to go. 130 attack also with no joke, so no boost with attack is still going to hit incredibly hard. 108 SPDA and a 90 HP is also really nice for a mon like this. Getting set up is not hard with this mon. Of course, one of the biggest issues being Grass Psychic, although pretty decent actually for offensive, really bad defensively, and a lot of moves can definitely check this mon. Thanks to Terra, however, we don't have to worry about that, and setting up this mon is really easy. I really can't stress enough how easy it is for this mon to just take the whole game. A boost of speed into a sword stance is just basically a free win, and there's no way around it, and with Terra, it pretty much further enhances that. It's really hard for this mon not to just immediately win once it gets going. Of course, however, it could also be kind of a double-edged sword, as sometimes using an item and kind of making this a mon that you keep in the back waiting to be sent out, and you don't really send it out due to boost energy being a consumable item, means sometimes you're doing a 5v6 for a lot of matches, but more importantly, if you pop it and it kind of fails and you're gonna keep it around or just let it die, kind of just is a weird mon in this pool of your 6 that you're trying to deal with. It's not that it's bad, it just sometimes could be really awkward into matchups. But then again, like I said, this mon is just super easy to get going, and with Terra, it's really nice to work, especially since we can do any Terra type into a matchup, and obviously every team's gonna have its weaknesses, so being able to go into a Terra type that can just really easily get advantage of that weakness is super nice. I've used Terra Iron Leaves in one of my very first draft leagues in Gen 9, and I made it a kill leader, and also just immediately got the mon banned in that league. It really is a fun mon, but also definitely is more of how you position it, and more of how well your opponent actually checks it. If your opponent really preps for it, it is definitely really hard to use. But then again, we have 4 other mons that are incredibly difficult to prep for, so I really hope I get to show how good this mon is in this season, but if not, I still recommend trying to use this. This mon's really fun, especially with Terra, and I still know I'm going to have a lot of fun with this mon in this season. That being said though, y'all know me, I love my offensive bulk, so I started going double down on pretty much my rest of my team almost being all offensive bulk, and we're going to try to speed on a couple of these mons. Next up is Wheezing Galard. This mon is your run-of-the-mill bulky fairy mon. Incredibly bulky, gets Will-O-Wisp, loves to sit there, be really annoying thanks to it being poison fairy, doesn't have much weaknesses, and it gets rid of one of those weaknesses thanks to levitate. Not to mention it has 2 other amazing abilities, neutralizing gas being a completely game changer and changing the entire meta for a lot of mon, and then also having Misty Surge to boost its strange streams and slash for any type of fairy moves, but also stopping certain conditions is also really strong. I don't see this ability used as often due to the other 2 abilities being so good on this mon, but it really has 3 insane abilities. To mention, we can use that for our team if we wanted to try it out. This mon definitely is also kind of weird though. It really has double stab, heat wave, and that's kind of it, which also only have an 85 special attack or 90 attack if you use it offensive, is not the greatest in this generation. It could definitely be checked and also used as a setup mon. However, does get clear smog and or haze to stop this, and its overwhelming bulk is outstanding. 120 defense is just insane, and yet again, it gets Will-O-Wisp, so this mon pretty much can check any physical attack. This is a mon that I love, but I've also not used really at all in draft, just because I've always been in this awkward state of I like this mon, but I don't. So I really hope this mon can really show how good it is and really prove me wrong of those times I've really thought it wasn't that great. Next up is a mon that I love so much and gets so much hate for some random reason, Hydrapple. Hydrapple is an insane mon. It has its own regenerator. It is a grass dragon, which is a crazy good offensive typing and even defensive, however, has a big weakness, which is ice, and I think this is why it gets one of its biggest hatred. There's so many strong dragons, honestly, a lot of ice weakness, and ice being a very predominant offensive move really doesn't help this mon for being 4 times weak. However, its bulk completely gets rid of this. 110 defense and 80 SPDA is pretty great, and then you match that up with 106 HP and a regenerator. This mon is absolutely absurd. It can eat ice moves, and that's not a joke. I have done a bunch of leagues with this mon and just completely get taken ice moves like Ice Beam with either AV or just a offensive like Weavile with that really bulky defensive stat. Of course, might not take the most offensive moves. Triple Axle, but it's still not a mon to just joke around as if you see an ice move, it doesn't mean, oh, I have to swap this out. It really uses its bulk as a super massive advantage, both defensive and offensive. Being able to actually trick your opponents thinking like an ice shard or even just some sort of ice beam with assault vest might kill, and it just completely doesn't, and you can kind of take away the game with this mon is so strong. Not to mention, Regenerator is just, like I said, the best ability in Draft League, and one of the strongest and most annoying team pairs is a Regenerator core. 2 mons that have Regenerated. Really annoying, very simple, incredibly overpowered. We now have the best Regenerator mon, Tornado Starion, and honestly, in my opinion, the second best Regenerator mon. There's some outstanding Regenerator mons, but I just love Hydrapple, and it always has done everything and anything for me, and every time I've fought it, it's always been a massive menace. And the reason why it's so good, in my opinion, is that it's this incredibly bulky mon with a crazy outstanding move pool with 120 special attack. This mon is hitting almost as hard as Latios with incredible bulk and the best ability in the game. It really just further enhances this with its crazy good move pool, having the ability to swap out all the time and just being able to use this offensive stat incredibly often, but also having this unique move called Fickle Beam, which is basically a dragon pull, however has a chance to do double the damage, making it the strongest dragon move you can possibly use. There's quite literally 0 downside to this move. It's just a chance that you do double damage and completely nuke your opponent. If not, you're just doing a dragon pull. Incredibly overpowered. Not to mention, one thing that bulk mons really don't like is getting set up on, and this mon gets Dragon Tail, so it also stops a lot of setup uses. It has to be really bulky, but also offensive setup fairy types, which is really hard for this mon. It also gets a weird move, Heavy Slam and Gyro Ball. Due to its 44 speed, Gyro Ball can really check its fairy mons, and Heavy Slam could also just be a nice neutral move if there's any slow fairy types like a Fable. This mon just gets so much hate, and I really don't know why, even though almost every single time I've seen it in Draft League, it has been a massive menace and has done incredibly well. And from my personal experience, it has always been a carry of my team. This just feels like a mon that's got hate, and then just for no reason, more people kind of piled onto it. I hope I get to prove people that this mon really isn't this terrible mon that everyone keeps thinking it is. And Hydrapple fans, I know, are very happy right now. And my next 3 are definitely lower tier picks, and also very unique ones. Some of them are just either very good, just for being a low tier mon, but also kind of situational, and some of them are kind of just weird picks. First one is being my other tier mon, Cypher. Tier Cypher is a absolute menace. It is a outstanding mon already with 105 speed, 110 attack, and Technician with a perfect Technician move pool. This mon is a monster with this. This mon is a great low tier mon just from being an incredible menace. I always thought this mon was an outstanding lower tier mon just because it's really only lowered on the lower tier due to just the fact that it has a bug flying type, obviously 4 times big to rocks, and stealth rocks being very strong, but also it wants to win that Eviolite to be bulky, but obviously it needs a heavy duty boots for rock, so it's in this weird awkward state of it doesn't know what it wants to do sometimes in certain weeks. This doesn't stop this mon, however, from doing what it wants to do and being an incredibly strong mon. Technician 110 attack is incredibly strong, especially with dual wing beat. Now we can add Terra type and get rid of its 4-time weakness, and now have the ability to run anything we feel like, but also giving it great coverage. Now this mon is absolutely insane. The strong Terra Blast with a good coverage move is really strong with Cypher, since bug flying has kind of just done very well for him on the offensive side. It doesn't really need the offensive coverage, but when it has gotten it, it's really been really strong. Then again, this is Gen 9, and Power Crep is super strong, so although this mon's pretty great, and even Terra making it super strong, being able to get rid of its weaknesses and run Eviolite, it still can be kind of overwhelmed by certain mons. But I'm very excited this month. This is my second time actually using Scyther in Draft League, just because it gets picked so incredibly often and so quick due to just being a really amazing low tier mon. But I'm really hoping to get some fun weeks with this mon. The next two I'm going to kind of gloss over super quickly, being Belly Bolt and Wish Cash. Belly Bolt is definitely the more bigger one to talk about. Belly Bolt is actually a absurd mon for being only 6 points. Incredibly bulky, gets Slack Off and Toxic, being an incredibly bulky electric type, and kind of checking whatever it feels like. I even have videos on my channel where this mon has walled its checks and just an entire team alone, and I have even had multiple videos where I am getting checked by this. This mon's really insane. It has just really great bulk stats, and then again, Slack Off and Toxic's really annoying, being able to pretty much check anything it feels like, even ground mon. The electric and muddy water stab really helps it being able to kind of check whatever it feels like, and grass being the only kind of awkward type to check. And then 103 special attack is also something not to really joke around with, especially with Electromorphous, which gives it a 1.5 times damage boost if it gets hit for electric moves. Very strong, really annoying with pivot, volt switch, and also is incredibly bulky. This mon is basically as bulky, if not bulkier, than Skeledirge, really just to prove that the 6-point mon is as good as my 14-point mon. Of course, it doesn't have the diversity of Skeledirge, but it really just goes to show that this mon is really crazy for a 6-point mon. I don't think there's been a single league where I've seen Belly Bolt not just do what it wants to do. It does what it wants to do really well. I was really tempted to get this Terra, since Terra Belly Bolt has been a menace, and I actually have a whole league on my channel where I use Terra Belly Bolt in a high tier format, and it did a wonderful job, but I wanted to use Scyther, and honestly I don't really think Belly Bolt needs it that much. Now Wish Cash was kind of just, I had 3 points left, I wanted to get my ground type, and it's nice to have rocks and spikes. I don't know if I'll be using this mon often, we will see. It has some alright stats honestly for a 3-point mon, and it gets Dragon Tail, as well as Stealth Fox and Spikes, so it's actually a really nice support mon. Water Ground's also just one of the best typings, only weak to grass, of course being 4 times weak to it though. Ground Water is just a really nice coverage to have, not to mention it does get ice moves. The only real issue I have with it that it actually does not get any momentum, so it's just kind of this awkward sitting duck. I don't think this mon is bad by any means, but it can definitely feel underwhelming in a lot of matchups, especially when I have a whole PALAFIN hero. But I still hope I get to use it, and I kind of hope it does its job well. If not, I'm completely fine if it doesn't do anything. Now after that lengthy analysis, let's get into the matchup. My week 1 opponent has a very scary team, and also a very cool team. My opponent has Dragonite, Tinkaton, Mew, Terra Jolteon, Mandibuzz, Gengar, Terra Tauros Aqua, Mamoswine, Volcanion, and Meganium. Now one thing you're going to notice is that my team is going to be able to check a lot of mons incredibly well, and I'm really only going to be scared of 1 or maybe 2 mons. With that being said though, those mons that I kind of can't check are mons that completely check my entire draft and kind of just is a incredibly massive menace to my team. That being said, I'm really only scared of basically 1 mon, that being Mamoswine. As you kind of see, Mamoswine checks my team incredibly well. The ground ice stab is incredibly strong here, and my mons that even like to check it, it gets coverage for it. Not to mention, there's some cool sets you can get away with stuff for like Weezing and Archildon, even with some like Shuckerberry sets. This mon is really scary, and an offensive Mamoswine can absolutely take away the game. I really struggled to find a good way to deal with this mon at all, and honestly, I can't lie, once we get into my team, I kind of realized that I kind of just did a basic check, and I'm hoping for it to be doing not so much. I could very much see my opponent using this as a massive advantage and trying to build a whole team around it, but then again, I could also very much just bring in my PALAFIN that's gonna nuke it. So it's in this awkward state. I just wanna bring that out there. And honestly, a lot of the other ones I'm not too really threatened by. I have some insanely great checks, and honestly, a lot of them just get completely hard checked. The only one I'm kind of scared about is Volcanion. I do have some decent Volcanion checks, honestly, and even mons like Hydropple with AV, hard wall offensive / wave ones, which is actually insane. So it's not the scariest thing, however, a endgame Volcanion could be super scary. Besides that though, even Volcanion I could pretty much check, so I kind of went very offensive into this match. Well, kind of. One thing you need to notice definitely for these weeks, I wouldn't be super defensive, but offensive. That's kind of what my team is, either really slow bulk, or really fast offensive mons that still have some decent bulk, honestly. That is also my biggest issue with this team. My team's speed tier is a little underwhelming. It has some really fast mons like Tornadus, maybe even Scyther, boosted speed leaves, but kind of outside of that, it kind of drops massively and they don't really have a way to get increased speed. So sometimes a lot of matchups I'm just getting incredibly outsped and I don't really have a way to out around it. I don't really mind this though because I'm incredibly make up for bulk and I really think that shows this week. First thing up is my Arch Aladon. We are running a kind of basic Assault Vest Arch Aladon set here. We're timid and we have enough speed to outspeed a Dragonite over here and as well as Mamoswine. I really do not want those mons to just come in and get a free kill. Mamoswine was mainly the bigger reason why I had this much speed for it. Being able to get damage or honestly actually being able to just straight up kill it if it's a very offensive one is incredibly massive. Like I said, Mamoswine is very scary for my team. This bulk is enough to absolutely wall a bunch of mons honestly. Jolteon's a big one. I want this mon to mainly wall Jolteon. However, it can definitely wall Gengar, especially a non-focus boss set. Honestly, just even a Scarf set. Mew, and even certain Volcanion sets. A non-boosting Volcanion can't really do too much to this mon, which is really awesome. That being said though, I don't want it to check everything. I really only wanted to check, honestly, Jolteon. Jolteon's definitely a big scary threat with 130 speed, outspeeding my whole team, and Terra makes it really, really strong. That being said though, even with something like Terra Ground Jolteon, this mon is walling it incredibly hard. We have good old Draco Meteor Body Press just to hit the team really hard, and then again, Stamina bringing Body Press to a really, really overwhelming move if it stays on the field for a long time, and Earthquake Thunderbolt is great coverage for the team. Earthquake Thunderbolt is also just insane coverage for this whole team. Jolteon, Volcanion, Mandibuzz, Gengar, Tauros, and Tinkaton all get checked by these two moves alone. Jolteon can tear out of these types, so maybe Earthquake's not the best, but it still hits the team really hard, and then again, he does have a whole Tauros that might bring too, so Jolteon Tauros is a good chance that they both come, and maybe just like Jolteon comes. I don't have too much else to say about this mon. I really just wanted to check Jolteon, hit really hard, and honestly, after Jolteon's down, or if I'm not too threatened by it, then I can just do whatever I feel like it with it afterward. And I'm also really hoping that speed could really get away with, and I can trick my opponent, maybe thinking his offensive Mamoswine could outspeed it or something. Next up is another AV user. It's my AV Hydrapple. This is also a very basic set, however, it's a set that works incredibly well into this matchup. I'm basically full defensive here with HP and SPDA, and it checks his team incredibly well. I'm running some very basic moves: Energy Ball, Fickle Beam, Earth Power, and Dragon Tail. Dragon Tail will stop any sort of setup, as he does have a whole Dragonite, even Nasty Plot Gengar, and even Volcanion, and of course Trailblaze, Mamoswine if I think that is going to happen in this matchup. Energy Ball, Fickle Beam, and Earth Power are just basic coverage that hits the entire team incredibly well, and like I said, Fickle Beam is a very nice dragon move that can double in power, being able to check mons that it usually can't. One single Fickle Beam could throw my entire opponent's team off the loop, give me incredible momentum, and straight up just one-shotting almost its entire draft. Not to mention, Earth Power makes Tinkaton really scary to switch into, and mons that like to check it, Gengar and Volcanion, thanks to AV, we eat their hits and can even just one-shot in return or do incredible damage back. This is what I was talking about, how AV Hydrapple is really good and offensive Volcanion's not so scary. As Sludge Waves we can take 2 of and just simply 1v1 it in return, and then again we have a generator, so even if we both get low HP, he can't heal it back up, but I can't. This mon was pretty much to be here to be the run-of-the-mill, incredibly annoying bulky mon to pivot into. It's mainly my Mew check if I know it doesn't have ice coverage, but also a very nice Volcanion check, especially if it doesn't have a choice spec set. I do think an AV set might come. A Volcanion's really scary into my team, I can't lie, and using that really bulky offensive, like how I am with both my Archalon and Hydrapple, is really good for Volcanion here. But then again, we kind of use that to our advantage, and yet again, we still 1v1 this Volcanion. That's kind of it for this mon. It's just going to be a really big nuisance, and honestly, it's a mon that can just change the entire game, or honestly, could even go down pretty early, and I don't mind. Now, our next mon, though, is our pure win con, and is going to be the main carry for this matchup. It is Choice Banded PALAFIN. The only mon stopping this mon from completely winning the entire game, straight up once it gets into full hero form, is Volcanion. Volcanion's ability, Water Absorb, completely stops my water moves entirely, making it where I can't even click those moves. And, well, obviously, being a mon that only has water coverage really hurts this mon. If this mon can ever go down, or I can even just get it chipped and get a good predicted move like Close Combat off, this mon straight up wins the game. Banded Jet Punch does almost 100% to his entire team. I have a chance to just one-shot Jolteon, Gengar, and Mew if they're all offensive, which 2 of them are known to be fully offensive, and I think they will be in this matchup. Not to mention, Wave Crash literally has 0 switch-ins. Mandibuzz is his best switch-in outside of the Water Zone Volcanion, which still takes 55% full defensive. Obviously, you could see why this mon is my win con. If Volcanion is down, or hell, if it doesn't even come, it's basically a free win. We're trying to get into an endgame where Jet Punch is just incredibly free here, as like I said, my opponent's real only switch in for Jet Punch is Volcanion, and Dragonite doesn't even like taking it super well thanks to our Banded, so if it's a defensive Dragonite, it really is not going to take it well. Of course, however, it still could be a mon that could go down pretty early just for basically sacking. I could just sack this mon and get 2 free kills with Wave Crash, which is incredibly strong. Although it would suck losing my win con, it by no means is a game-losing play for my team. My team is incredibly bulky and can kind of be an all-rounder team and do whatever situation it needs to deal with. It's the main reason why I like PALAFIN so much for this draft. My next up mon is to try to beat that Mammoth trick. I was talking about how scary it is, and well, I kind of just brought my basic check. We think Galar is a pretty decent check to Mammoth. This mon having 120 bulk, levitate, and Will-O-Wisp. This mon checks Mammoth pretty dang well. Of course, however, Mammoth does get ways to check this, and a offensive life orb or even banded set by no means can check this Weezing. Weezing can completely get nuked by this. A banded Icicle Crash can just nuke my Weezing, and it's not so fun. That being said though, I've kind of shown my team and stuff like Jet Punch, PALAFIN straight up can just one-shot Mammoth really easily, so it's not too scary. Of course, however, I don't really want to play a sack war with Mammoth, so I'm really hoping that he gets aggressive here, either on heavy duty boots, or maybe a Trailblaze set, or even a life orb set where I can sit there for a little bit, get enough chip I need for PALAFIN to kill. Trillium Stream's Flamethrower is just great coverage for stuff like Tinkaton, Mammoth and Dragonite really. I didn't want to be able to get hard walled by something. I say that as I do get hard walled by Volcanion, but I digress. Volcanion is a little scary, but I have a couple checks and it kind of gets further enhanced by my next mon. Defox is just great here because, well, my next mon is a mon that is weak to rocks, but I'm not running heavy duty boots, which is a little spoiler. Plus, my opponent has 2 good rocks users, Mammoth and Tinkaton, that I could see both come into the matchup. Not to mention, I don't want chip on my PALAFIN since Wave Crash is my best move without a doubt, and any mon that I outspeed or even speed tie with it, I can just click Wave Crash, get a free kill, and kind of win the whole game. Jolteon's dead, or even Gengar's dead, and then I can just click Wave Crash and I win the whole game. Now, it's a very aggressive thing to say, especially in Draft League, but this mon really does this in this matchup. It's kind of overwhelming that I can do it so easily too. Now, my next mon is good old Torn-T with Assault Vest again. I really like Assault Vest here because it basically checks every single mon here. It checks Zengai, it checks Volcanion, it checks Mew, and it checks Meganium. It can even check Mandibuzz and Tinkaton. Dragonite, it can even check the special variants. Of course, physical Dragonite here looks much better, but if it was special, I definitely could check it. I could also technically see a special Dragonite coming because I have an incredibly bulky Weezing that hard checks it on the offensive side, and it's definitely coming because he has the Mammoth. One hand's going to be doing what Hydrapple does basically, where it's going to be this really big nuisance and menace that's going to do great stuff like knockoff, getting rid of items, momentum for us, and just hitting really hard with a Bleak Wind Heat Wave. There's not really a single mon that likes to sit in front of this mon at all, the only one being a Terry Electric Jolteon. This is for obvious reasons it's going to nuke me, but even regular Jolteon, we can take the hits really well. And even stuff like Choice Specs Gengar doesn't even two-shot us. To mention, we can knock off the Gengar, getting rid of its item, outspeeding it, but also straight up having a chance to kill it. Fast U-turn is also incredibly overpowered here. We only, like I said, need a little bit of chip for PALAFIN to just sweep with Jet Punch, and well, this U-turn with 121 speed is really good into this matchup. Heat Wave Bleak Wind hits the entire team really hard, and it checks super effectively, so it's really hard for my opponent to deal with this mon entirely. I was thinking about running an offensive set, but I really just didn't need to here. With its bulk and great speed tier, and the EV set I have, it can just hard wall a bunch of mons, hit incredibly hard still, and still be a massive nuisance. Pretty much what it would be as an offensive. Not to mention an offensive one is kind of scared of stuff like Choice Banded, Ice Shard, Mammoth, which even though I am scared of that, I'm not as scared of non-offensive Mammoth sets. Other ones we could take decently well. Last up is good old Skeledirge here. Skeledirge is a great mon into this matchup. Tinkaton gets hard walled by it, Mew gets kind of soft checked by Skeledirge, and it's also a outstanding Dragonite check, even though it does get Earthquake. This mon just kind of goes to show how incredibly absurd its bulk is, that it can just take an Earthquake from Dragonite pretty well, and well, Will-O-Wisp can immediately shut down a physical Dragonite. Special Dragonite, we are not scared by any means. We have triple AV, Skeledirge still checks a special Dragonite, and not to mention, we have ways to heal it all off. The dual stab here is also incredibly strong here. My opponent does not have a good switch into a Twitch Song and Shadow Ball. His only real good switch in is a AV Tauros, which then again still does not like taking a Shadow, and we still have Will-O-Wisp, so it has to be Terrifier to predict that. This mon is just a really nice mon to fill out any holes we have. Of course, doesn't help with Mammoth, but also we can just use this mon to trade with Mammoth, so even the mon that we don't like fighting, and kind of the only real hole we have, we could take good Earthquakes and just Will-O-Wisp off and completely neuter this Mammoth. I think this really goes to show the defensive-offensive team here. My team is incredibly bulky and kind of can check whatever it feels like, and we can get away with running whatever. That's what this kind of sort of team likes to do. Defensive-offensive kind of just wants to do whatever it feels like and can get away with a lot of things, and this matchup really goes to show it. All the mons that we can just simply check or don't even come, or just straight up dies early, makes those mons incredibly valuable and being able to do whatever it feels like in the whole matchup. Not to mention, even though we have so much bulk and we kind of should be lacking on the offensive side, we are just not by any means. Of course, however, this is not saying anything about my teammate's team. His team is incredibly scary. He still kind of has the team that we do. Stuff like Mammoslime being really bulky, same as Volcanion. Not to mention, really bulky Dragonites are really scary in Draft League in my opinion. My opponent can definitely take away the game with an offensive Mew that I just straight up can't predict since it can run any move it feels like, and Gengar with both Scarf and Choice Specs are incredibly overpowered. Definitely need to make sure what item Gengar is and play around it. Both Scarf and Spec sets I need to play around differently, and both are very strong here. Of course though, like I said, PALAFIN can really just take away the game, so we will see how this match goes. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great team and my whole entire draft, and let me know if you like this style of editing. Anyways, let's get into the first match.
Alrighty. I don't really actually have, oopsie, I don't have my stuff loaded in, but it's okay. Takes like 5 seconds. You bring the Jolteon. No Dragonite. It is wow, no Dragonite. I should have brought my Iron Leaves. I was like, Mammoslime into into Dragonite felt not good into Iron Leaves. E-Speed into like probably Banded Ice Shard. My guy didn't bring that, so I could have just ran to Ghost or Steel or whatever I felt like running water. And been fine. Okay, my team is super bulky. Sorry about this. My team's so bulky. I just realized, holy. I think I'm thinking about leading Torn. Either Torn or Hydrapple looks pretty nice. It's just Mammoslime really annoying. Mammoslime gonna fuck me up. But good luck or fun to my opponent. Mammoslime gonna hurt. Tier Steel on Jolteon. That's good for me. Very good for me, actually. I hope we see like a Mew lead. Yeah. Sweet. Could be a lead, so in that case... Does get Thunder Wave, would pretty suck on my Torns. I don't want Torn to get T-waved here. So what I'm thinking, my guy gets like every move under the sun is the thing. I wish I led PALAFIN. I would have gone crazy. I think we're going to just U-turn out of here. Doesn't do much. Let me just cut that. 20% seems to be like a max HP. Could be max speed, but it looks to be definitely a max HP set. Could definitely have an ice move. I just want to go into Skeleduge. I'm gonna go into Skeleduge here. Let's see what happens here. Oh, just a good old Volt Switch. Okay, so they're gonna get. Oh no, Mamoslime's coming out. I should have just clicked knocked off. Okay, this is not good. Mamoslime's gonna come out, and I'm gonna cry. Jolteon comes out. That is not what I expected at all. Ooh, quick feet. Ooh, that's goated. That is so cool. I didn't want any Sky Fuses. This. Jolteon does get Shadow Ball, I believe, so I guess I'll count that. It hits. To be fair, do I need you, honestly? The team kinda just messes me up. Messes, specifically, this guy up. We know he's steel actually, so you can't really do much to him, but I'm more scared of like a calm mindset. So what if I just click Torch Song here? Let's do it. They just Volt Switch. They're just trying to get some good chippies with the Quick Feet active. So Quick Feet, Flame War, Volt Switch. They're probably going Volcanion here. Yep. Guess we'll see. That's Assault Vest. I can't do anywhere close to that little. You are Assault Vest under the sun. Okay. If you're Assault Vest, so then Hydropper kind of can just come in pretty easily. But then again, you know, I guess we're both going to be not doing much. But my damage is permanent, while yours isn't. So let's do that. The chip Skeletor is pretty damn well though. But I did get a lot of info. Dual Volt Switch, the Quick Feet, and Assault Vest on Volcanion. So it seems like Volcanion's gonna be a big nuisance. I actually will mine a burn here than the poison. No, okay. That's okay. This switch into this is... What is this switch into this? Is it really just Mandibuzz? Is he just gonna go for a nice neutral ground Mandibuzz play? How much will Mandibuzz take? Not much from Fickle Beam. I'm gonna go for a Fickle Beam. Let's try to get some cool... Okay, he goes for a Sludge Wave. Does nothing. Go for a Fickle Beam. We do nothing. So he's what? Steam Eruption, Sludge Wave. I don't mind going for an Earth Power here. I think he goes for another one. Oh, he actually goes for a Flamethrower Neutral Ground. That's pretty good for me. We get an Earth Power here. Very nice damage. We're getting this mon incredibly chipped down, and we know pretty much its entire set. Flamethrower. Volcanion. Assault Vest. Flamethrower, Steam Eruption. Sludge Wave. Let's look into this into Tornadus. Steam Eruption's gonna kind of hurt pretty damn well. But I also don't mind. Yeah, I think we'll do this. I mean, I don't really need... No, I'll keep our Trialdon around for Jolteon. We had that body press for a reason. The Quick Feet's nice too, so we can actually just sit there. We don't mind for Cold Mind either. Ooh! He's probably just gonna go for a strong Steam Eruption here. I think we knock off here. And he's gonna get a really strong hit off, but that's okay. Get rid of the Assault Vest. No more Assault Vest. Ooh, crit. My Tornado is cursed! Dude, I have a curse on this mod. Okay. So guys, you're actually really fast. I should actually outspeed Volcanion here. So I'm going to U-turn out. Tornado's funny. I don't hope he doesn't go for an Earth Power. I hope he goes for the Sludge Wave, expecting Venoc to come out on my Hydropple. Let's go for this. We also gotta keep in mind he doesn't have Voltazorb actually. So if Amazon goes down, I could just spam Thunderbolt. He goes for Neutral Gun Flamethrower. That's fair. That's a lot of damage. Now I should definitely be faster here. I got speed on this boy. He's probably just gonna sack this now. Yeah. It's just Earthquake. Earthquake's very free. Okay, so Volcanion goes down, super nice. He did a lot though. Volcanion did a lot, but to be fair, I thought Volcanion would do a lot. Volcanion was a massive menace, but really big thing is PALAFIN is very close to winning the game. He just let his Water Zordmon go down, which is super nice. Plus, he just let his like biggest wall go down. He still has Mandibuzz, absolute monster, but can't really stop all my special attackers from going insane. Jolteon, this is my check to Jolteon, which I'm pretty fine with actually. He's probably just gonna click Volt Switch and get some big chippies, right? So let's actually, how much is a Body Press gonna do to a Mandibuzz? Most likely +2. Aladon. Thunderbolt is stronger, so let's go for a Thunderbolt onto the Mandibuzz that's gonna come out. Yep. He has to be third for Body Press. I don't think he can go straight into Mamoswine. Interesting. He goes Mew. That also makes sense, right? Body Press and all that. It was quick, though. Okay. Citrus? Leftovers? Leftovers Mew. Trylon's doing 41 to 49% with a Draco Meteor. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens here. Might just go for hazards. Oh, you're going for Earth Power. This is gonna hurt. Now we know he's special though, which is really big. Oop. We get the kill on Mew. That's actually really nice. So he was definitely probably, maybe he was some HP invested, but not a lot. Mew going down is pretty cool. It was the only Mon Speed Time PALAFIN, so now we know what. Oh wait, no, is Gengar actually 100? He's 110. That's right. He outspeeds. So Gengar does come out here. I think we just let Gajeel go down here, which definitely does make. Oh, nah, maybe not that sudden. Yeah, we're just gonna click Earthquake here, so goes for the Shadow Ball. Just kill us. I guess I should just calc just to make sure. Let me make sure I don't miss any life orb or anything like that. Nope. Okay. Like what, 46, 48? Okay, it was a lot more than that actually. What's in the yellow? It seems like it was gonna kill though. So, Gengar. I could heavily bluff that I am like a bluff, like a crazy ass man that I'd scarf right now. Gengar's a big threat. Especially just one really big chipped. I'm at 145. I'm at 40%. Let's go Torn. I should live a Shadow Ball. Let's see if I live a Thunderbolt. Ooh, I don't live a Thunderbolt. But I am fasting. I could U-turn and get some HP back. I'm thinking about knocking off, but I could actually just get this guy back to healthy, basically. It might be worth it, honestly. I am burned too, so Mandibuzz is really annoying for him now. He can't toxic me, so let's U-turn out of here. He's probably just gonna stay in. Oh, he actually swaps out. Okay, so we get some good momentum here. That's really nice. Jolteon comes out. It's interesting. I actually really did not expect this, personally. We will take it, though. This is Chippies on Jolteon. We're getting healed up with Big Mans. That's very nice. The urge to go into the urge to go into you. I do need you full form. Soon.
Because I could just go Hydropple here, but then again, he's gonna get some great momentum into a Mamoswine that I don't have a great switch into right now. But then again, I get Palafin, and then I'm so close to winning the game. Like, what is he? It's just Mandibuzz stopping me from winning the game if I get full form. But then I could do this, and I can go for a very nice Fickle Beam into the team. Mandibuzz into Hydropple. He's actually eating so well, actually. So you know what? We're going All Might. We're getting our Hero Form activated. We need to get Hero Form activated. He's probably just going to Volt Switch, and then he's going to go Mamoswine, and then I have to sack Skeletage, and I can go back into Palafin and guarantee a kill. I think this is the correct play because Hydropple just can't do anything to Mandibuzz, even a defensive one. If it was SPDA, then we're super doing nothing. So, I think it predicted go for Learned Voice, but we're going to eat it super well, so. Sorry for the silence there. I was having a little coffee and fit. If you can't, I'm a little sick, but I'm at the end of it, so. Yeah, the Mamoswine is, it's interesting what he might be on it. I don't know what he is. Mamoswine finally comes out. I have no idea what the hell he's gonna go for. Do I care for a Skeletage when he has a Mandibuzz, Mamoswine, and Gengar? Get out of here, buddy. Goodbye, buddy. Didn't really do much, but it's okay. These Trailblaze could be scary. Is it? Let's go for Ice Crash. Why not a 170? Did 20%? Oh, he's banded. He can't do that much if he's not banded. Yeah, because max full would be 19%. So we know this guy's banded. Oh, baby. Skeleton just came back into the battle. I should be at least. Maybe not, though. What does he go into here? I kind of want to slack off. Do I live a Gengar Shadow Ball if I do this? No, I'm gonna do this. No, he's not banded. So how do you do that much? Is he boosting an item? I don't know. Well, now we know he's not banded. But how did he do that much? It shouldn't have been possible. At least we know he's not Scarf. I don't know how much he did that. I don't know. Oh, this one's timid. So he's okay. So why? Oh no, this is Gengar. Oh, he's adamant. I don't know. You know what? It's whatever. All I know is Palafin's about to go cray-cray. I should be able to just click Wave Crash and kill something. Mandibuzz, yeah, it's going to take 56 to 66% if he's full Fizz Def. So we can go into you. We know he's not Scarf. So this is a free kill. Unless this guy's Sash. Oh, this guy could be Sash. Look at Palafin. What a goat. Standing tall. We click Wave Crash. If we kill Mandibuzz, then again, this mon does open up, so Mandibuzz does come out. So maybe it's full Fizz Def, maybe it's Rocky Helmet. Yep. It is Rocky Helmet, but we don't care. We're gonna take a lot, but you're gonna die. Mandibuzz is dead. Now Jolteon or Gengar has to come out here. He knows I'm banded. I think he should go Gengar. That one should give him a free kill.
Jolteon I have a free switch into, but I guess he could also always go Jolteon Volt Switch into Mamoswine. Here comes the Gengar. So now if I look at Palafin Hero Form into Gengar, Jet Punch has a chance to kill. So I am quite literally just a turn or two away from winning. Sweet. We just go Torn here. Torn is not really gonna do much anymore, so so if we ever get any chip on Gengar, then it should be a guaranteed kill, just leading to, I think, Mamoswine maybe is the only thing stopping me from killing. No, Jet Punch always kills. There's the Shadow Ball. Jolteon. With the chip we got before, I should be fine. I'm at 85 HP. That's a lot. Is he Choice Specs? He might be Choice Specs. He did a lot there. I think he might be Choice Specs, actually. I don't know how he did that much. Was that like 50%? And now down to 87. I guess not. He could have got a Maxwell there. I think we just simply click knockoff. We know we're faster. We want to get rid of Gengar's item. So. Yep. Yeah, let's see what item he is. We get the chip we needed. He was Choice Spec, so yeah, okay, I was assuming. Do we die? But this should mean Palafin can come out and click Jet Punch. It should be very close to a win. I'm gonna have to see Jolteon's HP to fully know. But it was like 96 to 101%, I think. Okay, Gengar dies. No! Oh shit, okay. That's funny. Mamoswine now comes out. Ooh. Very smart to do that. We go Wheezing now. Ooh. What HP am I at? I'm at 88 on Palafin. I can come in twice. But with Ice Shard, that's scary. We click Flamethrower here. Oh, I can defog too. Yeah, let's Flamethrower first. As he actually goes, okay, so wait a minute. I think he may have just lost himself the game. I can't miss this, and this gives me the damage I need to win. Oh, I already had enough to win. Okay, so I think we might be in the clear. I actually think we let Wheezing take a bunch of damage here. It's gonna be a lot. Oh, Terra Steel. Jolteon, Terra Steel. Oh, he could kill. Okay, so wait a minute. And then Hero Form still kills though. Ooh. Okay. I think this just kind of does the same thing as before. I think it just means we can't simply get a 3-0 victory. It might be a 2-0. Because I'm faster with you, so Jet Punch goes first. So we can just go Venoct here and we should be fine. And there should be a Terra Steel incoming. No, it's just a Thunderbolt. Oh, what? I could have just clicked defog. I think Guaranteed won the game. But this also works, right? I don't really think it changes much. Can we just click Energy Ball and get the kill here? Probably not. No, crazy enough. Okay, so we'll click Earth Power then. I might just Volt Switch out. But then again, he can't do that because then he breaks Sash on Mamoswine. If it is Sash, then he loses. So I think we'll end the clear. I guess it could be Quick Attack Jolteon. Here's the Terror. Imagine he lied and it was just like terrifying. I always think that'd be so funny if someone just did that. I know it would be against the world, but it's be so funny. Shadow Ball. So he did have a move for good old dude here. So maybe he didn't have Terror Blast because he couldn't fit it. So that would be super fair, right? He can't have every move for every mon. He's already revealed Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Volt Switch. So I think the game is in the clear. So no matter what happens here, I think Palafin's just way too damn strong. So I do 98% to Jolteon, and then I always kill Mamoswine. So it literally just came down to if Mamoswine is Focus Sash. But then again, he can't kill Weezing in one hit. So it would be in this weird, you know, he can never technically win. He's gonna go for Ice Crash. I mean, Weezing kind of eats pretty dang well. Do I go for the greedy? I think I'm gonna get greedy here. It's only 27 to 32%. So I'm gonna take probably like 40% here technically. Okay, and we have Block Sludge to help up with that. And then you just have to click Flamethrower once and we're guaranteed to win. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I have no idea if he was Sash, but now it does not matter. He was definitely thick fat. We'll go for the Will-O-Wisp. Get the Will-O-Wisp off, which is very nice. I guess I could have done this first, but the damage was a guaranteed win, right? It was always 100%, so I just have to not get flinched. So. And now Ice Shard can't kill me. Maybe we try to defog away if we can get them, but... So it was a 2-0, but I had to sack Weezing no matter what. Mamoswine is just such a threat, so... And I have to go for Jet Punch here because of Ice Shard. And Palafin deletes with Jet Punch. And Jet Punch is doing 115% minimum. So it was just Focus Sash that would stop me from winning. Oop. And GG's. We won our first week 2-0. Very nice. I would think that was a pretty good game. I do think... I played a little sloppy there with Palafin. I don't know. So Mamoswine is definitely Mamoswine was so hard for me that I didn't have a check on my entire roster, I feel like. So it was just kinda like one of the themes of like, I'm gonna have to just like dishing out Mon, I'm gonna have to start playing aggressive, I'm gonna have to play like a little sloppy until I know the Mamoswine sweat, or until I get the Focus Sash broken, or whatever, so... Until that Focus Sash I knew was fully broken, which I don't know if he was or not. I'm just saying, if it was, then Palafin guaranteed wins there, so I had to make sure, you know? But yeah, GG's, Palafin just went crazy there. And I don't think I have much else to say. I think Weezing did some great clutching up there. Tornadus, my guy, I swear to God. Look, okay, you know what? I have the wood. Tornadoes is cursed for me, and I said this season in the chat, I was like, if this mon does bad, I'm dropping it. Like I'm gonna just drop it, and this is like my final time giving Tornadoes a chance. So if Tornadoes does bad here, this might be the final time I ever use Tornadoes, because I love Tornadoes team, but this dude is a curse to me. So we will see. So far, it didn't look so good. A critical hit into burn was not great. But it's okay. It's okay. He wasn't a important piece of the match, so. But yeah, GG's to my opponent. I think they played well. I just kind of can't lie. I think I just think PALAFIN was too good into his matchup, right? Volcanion was the only team stopping it. He let it go down like so early, and that means PALAFIN was basically only a turn or two away from just basically going to PALAFIN hero form and having the whole win basically all locked up for him. I think the quick feet Jolteon was a smart bring though to stop any Sky Fuser. Super fire bring. I love that. But yeah, I'm gonna end that there, and yeah, like I said, GG's, and I'll see you guys next week and see if we can keep the wins going. See you then. Later.